Hi, friends. We're just gonna wait a couple minutes while everyone comes in, and uh, and then we'll get started. 7:30 here on the West Coast, so a little bit early um, for me with two little ones. A couple things. Allison and I, we do everything together. So when I say I means we. I will try to say we as much as possible, but this is definitely something that from the beginning we are in as a family, and although Allison does a tremendous amount of work, um, and we do this together, and I try to do what I can, and she does what she can, and um, like all of you, it's how we get through this. So I'm gonna start on basically how we got here, and this whole talk is about community. But I think it's what I want all of you to know is that our story is similar to a lot of yours out there, and actually many more to come. And so I think it's a good way to get to the place where we were able to do something like Family Weekend. So April 8th, uh, our second son, Lucas, beautiful boy, um, is born, and an amazing time, as all of you know. Um, but he was actually born with a club foot. His left foot was a club foot, and then Allison and I just we thought this was the worst thing ever. We were didn't know what to do. We were scared for him. We thought his life, wasn't going to be the same as others. We looked at ourselves. What did we do wrong? Um, and then you get through that a little bit, and you go into some action. And uh, we went and we found a team of doctors, and went through a couple surgeries on his leg, and 8 casts, and then we ended up finding um, a doctor in Massachusetts, who made this special brace, and and we got Lucas all set up, and you would not know he has a club foot today. But I think at that point we thought, "Wow, this is crazy. How could this happen to us?" Um, well, 3.5 months later, we got that phone call that most of you, know that feeling. It was a text for me, and the next 30 minutes moved in slow motion like I had never experienced in my life. And um, we had so many questions. We didn't even know what to ask. And we were we were probably, I think, the first newborn screening case at UCLA. And although they thought they were ready for us, they they weren't, because within a couple weeks, uh, we had more questions than they could answer. And at that point, we kept hearing about get a team. Um, and e- that's kind of where we were at that point. And I was searching the internet one night, and I found this story about a company called Bluebird Bio on Twitter. And they said they were presenting um, a trial and at ALD Connect. Had no idea what that was. Clicked on the hashtag. Um, Next thing we know, uh, we're going to Washington. So we got Lucas, Cash, we got the grandparents. Um, we're all in a fog, but we have to learn as much as we can about this. So we get on the plane, we go to Washington, we walk into ALD Connect. I don't know if we actually sat at the table outside the conference. I mean, we wanted to be in the corner, the last spot possible. We were by ourselves, and the best way to say it, we were definitely lost, and we left that first day of the conference actually uh, so confused. We didn't understand any of the data. Um, there was nothing there that made sense to us. But somehow we went for a walk. We checked out DC, and and we said we got to go back the next day. So that's what we did, and we walked in, and this lady, this loud voice and big glasses on, uh, saw us sitting in the corner, and she came over and she said, "Hi, I'm Kathleen," and she put her arms around us and brought us to the front of the room, made us sit up front, and made us feel like, I don't know, that we were that someone recognized kind of what we were going through. And she actually introduced us in that same time period to Dr. Van Huren, who is our current doctor, and became a good friend. Um, and we left that conference. I don't want to. We were worse off than before we got there. We got too much information. We didn't know how to digest it. We heard some things that made us even more scared. Um, but we had Kathleen and we had Dr. Van Huren. We had this little connection there. And over the next year, as most of us do, we learned more. We took more in. Um, we went to oh, here's a picture. You can see Allison and I kind of hiding in the corner over there. Um, this might have been from the next year, but we started to feel this sense of something bigger than just our problem, that other people were going through this. Um, and so when we came back, we ended up going up to Stanford, and we met with Dr. Van Huren, and he really gave us the hope that I think we were just grasping, are we going to be okay? Is our son going to be okay? And that was that was really all we were looking for to get us to the next place in this journey. And he did. He put his arms around us, and Allison, Nick, Lucas, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Um, so over the next year, we started to normalize, and if some of you saw the talk at ALD Family Weekend that we did, first you have to get knowledge, and knowledge will bring some hope. And that's the transition that we were going through in this year. But once we had that hope, I think Allison and I asked everyone at the next ALD conference, like, what can we do? How can we get involved? Can we raise money for something? Can we produce a concert? Literally asking everyone that we could find there, and just saying we wanted to help. And we didn't even know that we didn't even know like what that meant to us, but we just knew that we wanted to get involved. And that's when Dr. Van Huren had told us about the vitamin D study that was going on at Stanford. He had asked if we wanted to get involved and enter Lucas into the study. And we said absolutely. If it's good for Lucas and other boys it can help them, then this is this is a start for us. And then we realized that there was a raising, they needed to raise some money for the vitamin D study, and we said, okay, this is also something that we've been waiting for. How do we raise money? Allison and I had never done that before, but we reached out to our network, our family, our friends, people that we worked with. And up to this point, mind you, this is almost 2 years after the diagnosis. Um, Only about 8 or 9, maybe not even, just a few of our family members we had talked to about this. And I have 7 brothers. And, you know, just hadn't spoke to any of them about it. And even someone like my mom, the closest people, we weren't there yet to even share it. And I know a lot of you are going through that. But we eventually shared our story with them, and we raised money. We ended up raising over 100,000 for the Lucas project. that raised money for the vitamin D study, and it just I think it did feel good. It felt like we were doing something to add to the community. But we also knew that there was more to do, and we were spending a lot of time with Keith and Dr. Van Heeren, and he had told us that about his family, and that his son had a serious medical condition, and that him and his wife, Mai, had gone to this camp, or it was like a weekend hike, and all the families went up there. They all sat around the fire, they went hiking, they told stories, and how much that sense of community helped Dr. Van Huren. um, we thought, wow, I think um, we might have something that's similar that we could share like that. And in my family, my one of my mom's page and my dad had co-founded a camp called the Painted Turtle, and it's for kids with chronic illnesses. One of the my dad, I can hear him right now saying, "There's no billing department." This was a camp for kids to be kids and just have fun. Um, and I'm gonna play you a little bit of that right now, so you can see that while I talk. But they 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 got a group of friends, and they built this incredible camp with Paul Newman, who had a series of camps across the country. And this was this was Paige's. I know this is sorry here. This was Paige's dream. This camp, and she loves kids, and we just felt like we might be able to tap into what Paige and my dad have spent their whole life doing with this camp, and bring this to the ALD community. And that's when we started to assemble a team. And we looked to Gina and Janice and Karen. And we brought Keith and Kathleen onto the team. And we originally, and this is event planning in general, which happens. We were going to do it in person, obviously, and we had launched it, and we pressed that button, and we're doing family weekend, and we got three families signed up, and we knew that it wasn't going to be a lot. It's a lot to travel to Los Angeles. You got to figure out that where how you're going to do it, the expense of it. So there was a lot of things. So we did have some idea that it wasn't going to be as easy as we thought. But we definitely, and I'm a producer. I produce festivals and concerts, so I'm used to like the moment of putting a show on sale and seeing what it does. Alice and I were sitting there, and we're like, three families. Uh, we, that's not what we were expecting. So, we took a little bit of time, and then we gathered back together, and we got to relaunch this thing. We got to put our other hats on, our marketing hats, and um, we relaunched it. We pulled in a bunch of our friends, a bunch of the people that I work with, and 13 families signed up, and we were like, "This is it. We've done it. We are on our way." We were happy with 13 families, and then of course, COVID hits, and then we had questions. Do we postpone it? Keith says, why don't we do something online? The idea of camp at home came, and the Painted Turtle, they're just incredible people. And so between them and Keith and some of our other partners, um, everyone got together. And I had mentioned I had seen this thing called Zoom. Kathleen likes to call us Zoom pioneers. Um, but we 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 said, all right, let's do it. Let's switch the format. Everybody needs this right now. And so we um we ended up signing up over 300 people. I think there was 60 or 70 families that had signed up, all from all over the world. And one of the biggest moments was when uh we did this thing on Thursday night where we just wanted to make sure everyone's camera worked. Nobody had, still we think nobody has done Zoom. At that point, really, literally no one had done Zoom. and we we got everyone there, and we hit the button, and we started to let people in, and um, it was the it was the first time I knew that I was in a community of something really special, and it was just face after face, and they were just pouring in, and we had to slide the screen, and it went, it was huge, and they were all smiling faces, moms, dads, kids, siblings, grandmothers, grandfathers. Like, it was just this incredible moment of, we were all there together. It was the first time I would think in ALD kind of history that you saw all these people who were going through something very similar to you. And I think it gave strength to so much strength in that moment. We were going through COVID. It's such a, what's going to happen, and we just see these faces, and everything went away. Everyone got a box that the painted turtle stuffed, and somehow got 400 things in a box this size, and they got a poster and a shirt, and um, yeah, s'mores. People were doing their setups at home. We were doing crafting. They were setting up tents, making it feel as if they were at camp. This is what the painted turtle is about. But somehow we were able, as this core group, to take it and give it out in a digital form. Um, it was really incredible. It was part ALD Connect, part Painted Turtle, and now what we know is ALD Family Weekend. Um, so I think where we are today, I want to talk a little bit about this, um, about community, um, and I think that all of us have ways to contribute, whether it's sharing something, baking, doing a bake sale, um, raising money, um, help putting on awareness campaigns. There is something that all families can do, because um, there was a group of families that were sitting on their shoulders, and who you are out there. You've gone through it. You have the pain, and it's, I don't want to say it's unfair, but it's, we owe this to you. To you went I can't imagine what those first ALD conferences were like. um there was just a bunch of data, it didn't have direction. There were families, there was really tough stories, which we'll hear today, but they were tough. And what I saw yesterday was so many people working towards prevention and cure of ALD. I saw that. I mean, there were so many doctors, so many scientists, researchers that are pouring their hearts into this. They're not just in it for some paycheck, or just because they really care about this community. And I think we need to find a way, and it's events like Outrun ALD. There's so many of those that we can do across the country, but I know that we are super strong, together, and that we can do a lot more. I have this weird screen up right now because I want to share this video, and um, it's a video that I watch every once in a while. It always makes me smile, because it really shows the power of community. And I'm going to show it, but as I look at this, they talk about this lone nut in this video, and I think of people like, you know Karen and Jesse and Elisa and Janice, these people that were going out there talking and trying to get people to listen about some super rare disease that probably would never touch someone else, that they knew, but they kept doing it. And so I want to show this, and take a look, and we'll come back at the end. Oops, sorry.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
I love that video. I do feel as a community we are at a tipping point right now. And you lone nuts, you know who you are, and I'm proud to be a first follower. And I Allison, can you come in? Hopefully my wife's out there and she can come join me. But I really do think we're at a tipping point as a community, and we can come together and really make a difference right now. Time and money is what stands between prevention and cure for our boys and girls. And that's where we are. And my wife's coming in, Allison. And we want to thank all of you, Milvis, Becky, Keith, Janice, Gina, Karen, Kathleen, Jesse, Elisa, April, Amanda from the Painted Turtle. You.
Oh my gosh, it's endless.
It's endless. The list is endless. But ALD Family Weekend, we're excited to announce March 19th to the 21st. We are going to do Camp at Home again. We're excited. Signups will start soon. We'll let everybody know. But I love this ALD community. To be honest, I wish I wasn't part of it, but we are, and we're all in, and we hope the same for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all those before us. You're all an inspiration. It couldn't have happened without this team.
Yes. Thank you. I don't know if there's time for questions. Becky, is there time for questions?
5 minutes until the next session starts.
Well, if there's one or two, if not, we can just sign off and have an awesome day learning from all these families and patients. Is there any questions?
I'm not seeing any.
Okay.
Lot of support.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks
Well,
everybody
thank
for
you for
listening
all
to our
your support.
story. Yes, and thank you for all your support. It's not easy, but worth it.
Well, a couple questions have come in now.
Okay.
How can people help get involved with ALDCH?
What would we see?
What's the
Oh,
Camp
maybe Family Weekend.
Yep.
Email us.
Yeah.
You know, we're always we always want help, so we would love that.
Yeah, it's a full volunteer movement from everyone involved with Family Weekend. So we can definitely use the help. If you go to the website, our email address is on there. Email us, and it's going to come to one of us, and we'll reach out. Great. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, ALD Connect. Look forward to today, and then again, this is about getting together in person. Family Weekend was always that, and while it won't be in 21, I hope to see you all in person in 22. Thank you, everyone.